Hello everyone. Welcome to the webinar on Smart Accounting for Growing Business. My name is Dinesh. I'll be the presenter for today's webinar and I'll be taking you through Zoho Books. And I have my colleague Ramraj here who will be our organizer for today's webinar. Heads up guys, as this is a listen only mode webinar, if you have any questions across the session, you can communicate using the chat box in the GoToWebinar application. So you can find the application on the top right and you will have a chat box. Simply type in your questions and send it across to us. So today I'm going to take you through Zoho Books with the typical business scenario. Let's imagine you buy products from a vendor, mark up the product value, and sell the product to your customers. So this workflow might seem straight, but imagine the other factors like the expenses incurred due to the product shipping, and you have to find the cheapest vendor. So basically, you create a purchase order and send it to your vendors and deal with the one which suits your business. And you have other factors. So let us see that in detail. So the first thing is you have to create a product and you have to manage the product which you are going to buy from your vendor and how much you're going to mark up the value and how you're going to sell it to your customers. So first you need to find your vendors and create the product which you're going to buy with the rate, and then once it is shipped to you, there might be some expenses across. If you are going to ship the products from your vendor, then you might incur some expenses, and you should also track that. And finally, once you receive the product, once you receive the goods, you have to create invoices. Even before creating an invoice, you have to create codes and send it across to your customers. You might meet various customers across for your product. And once if your customers are accepted or accepting the codes, or let's say they're fine with the codes, then you can proceed sending them an invoice with the goods. So this must be the typical workflow. So let me walk you through Zoho Books with this workflow and how easy it is to manage inside Zoho Books. So I logged into Zoho Books and this is my organization. I first get into Zoho Books, I'll find dashboard. Zoho Books greets me with the dashboard, which gives me total receivables, the amount which I'm supposed to receive from my customers, the total payables, which I'm supposed to receive which I'm supposed to pay to my vendors. So this ensures that Zoho Books captures your account receivables as well as payables. And I have a beautiful cash flow graph, so I'll keep track of my cash flow across the year. And I have a beautiful pie chart which shows me your top expenses, so I can cut down on them. And I have my income and expense graph over a specific period, and I have my projects and the banks which are connected with Zoho Books and account watch list and so on. So this shows that Zoho Books is clubbed with a lot of features. And today we are going to go through the simple workflow, the simplest one which we seen recently. So you're going to add products, you're going to buy it from your vendors, and you're going to record the expenses for the shipping charges for shipping the goods from your vendors place to your place, and then you have to create estimates and send it across to your customers. And once your customer accepts that, you can create an invoice and the deal is over. So first thing is I have to create a product which I'm going to buy and sell. So I'm heading to the item section. Items in Zoho Books is nothing but the products you sell or the services which you offer. So in this workflow, which we are going to discuss today, I told you that we're going to ship the goods, basically products. But in case if you're a service-based business, all you have to do is add an item with the service name. So if it is a product, you can simply type in the product name, or if it is a service, simply enter the service name and uncheck the purchase information. Since there won't be any purchase information regarding services, all you have to do is enter the service name, enter the rate, the service charge, and the income, how to record the income and which account. And if you have any taxes, you can also add them here. And give this service a description. And please note that description will also be displayed in your invoices. So I'm going to track goods. So I'm going to say mobile phone. and I'm gonna cost it. It's gonna cost around $399. I'm gonna save the. I'm gonna select the income account as sales. Yes, there's a tax, PST Canada. I'm gonna choose that. So I'm gonna add the description. Okay. So I'm gonna sell it to $319, but actually I'm gonna buy it for $299. And I'm going to select the account here. I can also click here to add a new account. So let me do that. I'm going to say purchase mobile account. So I'm going to type in the account code and everything is fine. I'm going to click on save and select. And now I can enter the description. So, and if I want to track inventory for this item, I can check the box here and I can enter the opening stock and the opening stock rate. So I'm going to say initially I have 10 and the opening stock rate is again 299. And everything is fine. I'm going to hit save. So I have added the product which I'm going to buy and I'm going to sell. I have simply defined how much I bought the product for and how much I'm going to sell the product for. So simple as that. Now let's add my vendor list from whom I have different vendors across. So I'm going to send purchase orders to them to get the cheapest price. To say that $299 is my fixed price, and if you're fine with that, I'm going to buy the product from you. So I'm going to go to the contact section. So contact section allows me to manage my customers as well as my vendors. So I'm going to fill in my vendors details. I'm going to click on this plus new button to create a new contact. So he's going to be my vendor and his name is William, and I'm going to add one. He's a vendor, so I've selected vendor and I'm going to type in his email address. Okay, and I can choose his currency, and I can type in his email, his contact address, custom field. So I'm gonna put New York's zip code. Okay, so I'm gonna copy the billing address, straight and simple, so that I don't have to write it again for shipping address. And I'm gonna click save. That's it. I've created one of my contact. And in a similar fashion, I can click on this plus new button to create as many vendors as I want. And all I have to do is select vendors here. And that's it. So I've added the products and then I've added my vendor list. Now, according to my workflow, I have to create a purchase order and I have to send it across to my vendors, right? I'm going to take you to a purchaser section, and here I have purchase orders. I can click on this button to quickly create a purchase order. I don't have to move around the page. And first I can choose the vendor name. So the William, which I recently created, I can select them, and here I could find his currency. If you want to select any other person, you can also do that. Or if you are coming to the purchase order section and creating a purchase order directly, instantly, I had a vendor and I need to create a purchase order showing me immediately, then I can simply click on this plus new button, and I can simply click on the vendor name and I can click on this plus new vendor to add a new vendor. So I don't have to necessarily go to the contact section and create a vendor. While creating a purchase order, Zoho Books allows me to do that. Simple. Now I'm going to choose my vendor. So, okay, I've selected my vendor. And this purchase order number can be typed in by me, but I'm so lazy to type in, and I don't want to track what is the previous number which I entered and what is the next number I'm going to enter and all those. So I'm going to leave it to Zoho Books. I'm going to say, please go ahead and generate the next number for me. So simple as that. I'm going to select continue auto generating the purchase number. I can enter the prefix, let's say PO, or I can say IO based on my company, and so on. I can hit save. And if I have any reference number for this transaction, I can also enter that here. And I can select the date and delivery date. If I'm going to define it, I can also do that. And shipping preferences can also be added. You can simply type in to add a new one. And item rates are tax inclusive or exclusive. It's a simple question. So if it is tax inclusive, select them. Exclusive, then select them. So now I'm going to buy the product. So mobile phone, which I've added, and it's the corresponding account is automatically selected for me. I don't have to do anything. The rate is also added. So I'm going to say how much I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy 100. So I have the total, the subtotal, and everything. If I'm going to add tax, I can also add them right here. And Zoho Books clearly shows me how much is the tax. And this terms and conditions, everything can be configured under settings, so I don't have to enter them again. And I can choose to deliver to organization or to the customer. So imagine if I'm going to ask the vendor to directly ship to my customer's address, I don't have to receive it and then create another transaction and ask him to send it across to my customer. I can simply select customer and I can choose my customer, and I will have my customer's address here. So this time it's going to be delivered to my organization. Okay, everything is fine. I can choose the template, which clearly shows that Zoho Books allows you to completely customize your look and feel of your purchase order. So I have predefined one, so I'm going to select that as of now. I'm going to hit save. So simple. I've created a purchase order. Now I have a beautiful preview of my purchase order right in front of me. And now, if I want, I can edit or download or even print the purchase order in a click of a button. To send it across to your clients, you can click on this email icon, and you could see that your customer's email address is selected automatically, and this email content can be customized under settings. And if you wish, Zoho Books again allows you to type in. So you might have some special codes or special mentions for your customers. You can simply type in. And if you want to copy someone, you can also do that. If you want to blind copy someone, again, it is possible. Next, you can attach files. Any additional files you want to attach, you can attach them, and all you have to do is hit send. Your purchase order is sent across to your vendor. So now I have sent it across to one of my vendor, and if I have more vendors, I'm going to send the same purchase orders to them. What I'm going to do, I can click on more, and I can click on clone. So all my data is right there available for me. I can simply choose the vendor. Nothing more, nothing less. And then scroll down. Everything is automatically filled in for me. I'm going to hit save. Likewise, I can simply click on a button, clone it, and send it across to my client. Send it across to my vendor. So it'll just take 2 clicks, and you have created a new purchase order for your new vendor. So now, for the previous one, since I've created a purchase order, I've sent it across to my client. To my vendor, and imagine my vendor accepts the purchase order and he decided to send me the goods along with an invoice. So I don't have to type in the same details again in Zoho Books to record that I received the goods and I made a payment for that. A supplier invoice which I received from my vendor. So now all I have to do is in a click of a button, I'm going to click on convert to bill, and a new transaction inside bill section will be automatically generated. Here inside Zoho Books, bills are nothing but the supplier invoices which you receive from your vendors. So now here you can simply type in your bill number. The bill number here does not allow me to auto generate it. What is this? This is to ensure that whenever you receive an invoice, supplier invoice from your vendor, and you will have the invoice number, right? You can simply type in that invoice numbers in this bill section, so it'll be really easy for you to search that bill inside Zoho Books. Now, everything is filled in for me right there. All I have to do is, if you want that invoice to be attached as a reference file, I can also do that. And I can hit save. Now, I've recorded a bill. And since I've made a payment for that bill and received the goods, I have to click on record payment button. And I can say I made a payment of this much, and this is the payment date. And I can choose the payment mode, or I can also click here to add a new payment mode. And I can choose from which account I paid through, cash or the bank account. So this shows that I can connect my bank account with Zoho Books, and Zoho Books will help me to reconcile the transactions in an easier, much more easier fashion. So I'm going to choose the pay through account. If I have any reference numbers, if I received any payment received for the payment which I made to my vendor, I can type in that reference number and note for my internal purposes and hit save. Now I bought the products. So simple and straight. And when you go to reports, and here to go to inventory, and when you go to inventory summary, and here you will have mobile phone or product, newly added product. So I bought 100 and initially I had 10, so that is quantity in is 110. I have not sold anything, so it shows me 0. And this report section clearly shows that it updates instantaneously and I can generate the report at any point in time. When I go to inventory valuation summary, it'll show me what is the quantity available and what is the associated bill. I simply clicked on it, it took me to that bill details. Zoho Books follows FIFO cost log tracking, which means you're going to sell the product first, which you received first. So now here you could see when you scroll down, here you will have a bill number INV 5657 from a vendor. This is the product I bought, and I bought 100. What is the quantity remaining? Is 100. And what is the total? It shows me right here. So now I've received the product. It's in my godown. It's in my stock. Now, in the process of shipping the goods from my vendor's place to my place, I incurred some expenses. So I need to record the money going out from my pocket, since it's gone out of my pocket and paid for my for my for the container who transferred the goods from my vendor's place to my place. I'm going to record an expense. So again, when you go to that section, I will have the list of expenses which I've created earlier. So I can clone from an existing one if you already have an expense recorded, or you can create a new one. So simple. And here you can choose the expense account. If you wish to track this expense separately, you can also click on this plus new account and say shipping expenses, give this account a code, choose the account type. I'm going to say expense, description for your internal reference. I'm going to hit save. Now I've created a separate account and it shows right in front of me. And now how I paid the amount, so I'm going to say it's cash account. And how much I paid, I'm going to say $50. And if this $50 is tax inclusive or exclusive, I can select that by selecting the tax and say it's inclusive or exclusive. And now I can choose the vendor from whom I bought the product and reference number if you have any. And you can also attach receipt if you received a receipt. And now, if this is an expense, if you incurred on behalf of a customer, you can also mark them as billable. So this allows you to record expenses as well as bill your customers for the expenses which you incurred. So now I'm going to save, since I received the goods and I don't have any customer name here, I'm going to simply hit save and I have recorded my expense. So simple and straight. So Zoho Books will know that I bought the products. First I sent a purchase order and then it's converted to a bill, and I made a payment for the bill to ensure that I received the goods. And then in the process of receiving the goods from my vendor's place to my place, I incurred some expenses. I have also recorded that. Okay, now it's a selling part. Now I need to sell the product and make some income. I can go ahead and find various customers. I can go to local stores to send it across. And to add a new customer, again, click on this plus new contact section, and this time it'll be a customer, and you can enter your customer's name. And you can enter your customer's email address and his currency and address, custom fields and notes as you did earlier with the vendor. A similar fashion, except that you choose the contact type as customer. So there's no clutter, no more details for customers separately and how it looks completely different for vendors separately. Nothing like that. It's so simple and straightforward UI. So now in the contact section, I have my list of contacts. I've added them. and I have my list of vendors as I've added them before. So this option here allows me to filter them. Okay. Now let's assume that I've approached a lot of customers and I've added more customers here. My customers are asking for quotes and give me a price estimate, how it looks like. So I'm going to go to sales. I'm going to go to estimates, and here I will find the list of estimates which I've already created. Again, this can be cloned and a click of a button, or you can click on this plus new estimate to create a new one. I'm going to choose the customer and the estimate number. Again, this can be auto generated, so I don't have to touch it. And reference number for my internal reference, estimate date. If I'm going to set an expiry for this estimate, I can again set that. You can choose the price list here, and this ensures that Zoho Books allows you to create a price list based on your customer, based on the currency, and you can also create price lists to increase or decrease the item price in percentage. That can be done in the item section. And next, salesperson tab. Yes, I have salespersons and who are related to my sales. So at the end, I'm going to give some permissions to the salespersons. What do? You can simply type in your salesperson name here, and moving forward, Zoho Books will remember them and will display them in the bottom. You can select that salesperson whenever he's associated with the sale. Now, again, tax inclusive or exclusive, you can choose them. And now I'm going to sell mobile phone. I'm going to select that. I'm going to say if he's going to buy 100, I'm going to sell it to $399. The total amount is this. I can give percentage or flat discount. So it might be a season, Christmas, let's say. I'm going to give him 5% discount. I can say that. Or I can say $10 flat discount. So based on that, all these amounts will be adjusted. And since I've added the tax amount is also shown here. And if I have any shipping charges, I can also add them here. If I have any adjustments to be made, for example, I need to remove the 0.20 cents. I'm going to say minus 20. So simple as that, it's been removed. Again, customer notes, terms and conditions, and all these can be customized under settings section, so I don't have to type them again. I can choose the template. And now I have two options. To save as draft, in that case, I will not be able to send it across to my client through email because I want to go through the estimate one more time and cross-check it. If you're fine, if you're 100% sure, you can click on save and send. Now again, I'll take you to the email page with the estimates attached in the PDF format. I'm going to hit send. Now I've sent my estimates to my customer. Similarly, if I have various customers, I'm going to send it the same estimate to. I can clone them in a simple click of a button and choose that customer and send them. This time I'm going to show you guys how the draft will look like. Here's how the draft will look like, and you can click on this email button if you wanted to send it across to your clients. So now I've created the estimate, I've sent it across to my customers. I've also shown you how to clone this estimate and change or add a new customer. So this avoids me to enter the same data again for my customers. So I might have different customers. I might go through a local shop or to an industry to sell things. So now I have sent an email to my clients, right? I have sent this estimate through email to my clients. But how do I know whether my customer accepted the estimate, or there might be cases where they want me to do some changes? Let's say they want additional discounts. What will they do? Since I send an invoice through email, they will definitely reply back through an email. But what in case if they misses it? What in case that lands in my spam box and I ignored it? I might lose my customer. So this avoids to avoid this email to and fro communication between me and my customer, and to help my customer view the estimates and invoices which are sent in a separate space, so there won't be any email clutters. Zoho Books provides a separate space, and Zoho Books named it as Client Portal. So client can view that portal. So Client Portal. And now let's have a look how the Client Portal will help my customers and to accept an estimate and how it will help me to close deal. So now, while creating the customer, okay, there'll be a small checkbox at the bottom which says allow portal access for this client. If I've checked that, an email notification will be sent across to my client, and my client receives an email and he has to accept the invitation and they can create a password for their portal. So once they created the password and they will be entering into the portal. So this is how the client portal will look like. Specifically for Mr. Aaron Brown, he's one of my client. And once he logs in, he can find the outstanding invoices, what is the estimates which needs to be approved. He can go to the estimate section and he can view the estimates which you created and send it across to him. He can click on that estimate and he can view them. Okay, so he wants to communicate something. So he might say that I need some additional discounts. Discounts as I want more goods. He adds the comment simply. Nothing more, no emails, nothing. When you go to Zoho Books account, your account, when you go to the go to that estimate, so I'm going to go to the estimate section first. Here, and when I go to that particular estimate, just over the preview of the estimate on the right side, I will find my customer's comment. So this client portal enables me and my client to communicate on an estimate instantaneously, like a chat box. I can click on add comment and say I'm fine with that. How many more products you want? You can check the box here called display in client portal and add a comment, and your client can view that comment in the client portal. So just below, yes, they've added it. So the client says I want 10 more products. With 10% discount, he's asking that. He adds a comment. And then when I go to Zoho Books, just over the preview of the estimate, I will have that. And this time I can edit the estimate and I can close the deal straight. I'm gonna edit this estimate. I'm gonna say he needs 110, right? I'm gonna change it to 110, and this time I'm gonna say 10% discount. So everything is done, and I'm gonna adjust it 8, okay. I'm gonna hit save. So now I've edited and modified the estimates. I have not even sent it across to my client, but when my clients views that in the client portal, the modifications will be instantaneously available. Here you could see the quantity is updated, everything is updated. Just to notify your client, you can say, I have modified it. Please check. You can check the box and add a comment. That's it. And now your client can view that comment, and this time he can accept the estimate. Since the deal is fine, he can click on accept to say that he accepted the estimate successfully. So your deal is pretty much done. Now you have to create an invoice and send it across to your client with the goods, right? So now, do you want to type in all the details again and again for creating an invoice? Since I've already created an estimate with the same details, why do I want to create a new invoice with the same details? Why do you want to type in again? So this option called convert to invoice comes handy in that time. Click on that. This estimate will be copied to an invoice directly. And again, this invoice number and all these details can be defined by you. If you want, you can edit them. And here, you can connect with online payment gateways. Zoho Books is connected with 9 major online payment gateways. You can configure them under settings and you can choose them so that you can receive online payments as well. So Zoho Books will help you to handle your offline payments as well as online payments. Everything is fine. I can hit on save and send, and this time I can go ahead and select. Okay, I can add subjects or remove them, and I could see my invoice is attached with a PDF. I'm gonna hit send. That's it. I sent an invoice, plain and simple. When my customer goes to the home page, he will find the invoices in the invoices section, which are recently sent, and he can view it. He can click on pay now if he is going to make a payment online. He can say credit card or PayPal, and he can enter the card details and make a payment. PayPal, then he will be redirected to PayPal's payment gateway where he can enter the card details and make a payment for you. So simple and straight. So client portal cuts all the to and fro email communications between you and your clients and helps you to close the deal faster. Even your clients can generate customer statements. They don't have to come to you for that. They can download it. They can specify the date range and they can download that. And they can view the list of payments which they made here. So imagine if your customer is going to give you money offline, probably through bank transfer or cash in hand. You can click on this record payment button as you did earlier for the bills. And here this time you can enter the bank charges, if any. If there is any tax incurred, you can tax deducted, then you can also enter the amount withheld and choose the tax account. And payment date, again, the payment mode as you're familiar with that, and deposit to account, again, reference number and all these. If you check the box, there'll be an email sent across to your client saying thank you for your payment. So you don't have to type that again. You have a predefined lines in Zoho Books inside settings. If you want, you can customize them. Click on record payment. Now my deal is done. I bought the product. I sold the product. Let me go to report section to know how much I sold. I'm going to inventory. I'm going to go to inventory summary. Here for mobile phone, I bought 110. I sold 110. Quantity in hand is 0. And similar fashion in a FIFO cost log tracking, I will find that I bought 100 mobile phones via a bill 5657 and I sold it through invoice 840. Simple reports, straight and instantaneously available. You can also go to sales and select sales by customer, which will tell me what is the sales corresponding to this customer. And I can go to transactions. Here I have a small income and expense graph for the customer. I can go to transactions to view the list of transactions which I created for this customer. So everything plain and simple. So today I walked you guys through a simple process where you buy products and recording expenses for the expenses which you incurred, and how to record bills and how to create estimates, send it across to your clients, how to clone transactions, which will reduce a lot of time in typing in things, and how to send an invoice across to your client, and how to record offline payment as well as how to receive online payments and all those. So now, if you have any specific questions or if you have any specific areas you want me to dig deep into and explain, please do post that in the chat box and I'll be more than glad to help you on those questions. Thank you so much once again. So let's have after 5 minutes, let's discuss the question and answers which you guys are going to post in the chat box.